Okay, there's just two parts I wanted to go over that didn't fit in the last video, and one of them is on page 89. There's this passage that is probably confusing. Um, it says here, he tried to think of something to say, but he could not. He'd had this feeling before, beyond the numbness and dull despair. The world shrinking down about a raw core of parsable entities. The names of things slowly following those things into oblivion. Colors, the names of birds, things to eat, finally the names of things one believed to be true, more fragile than he would have thought. How much was gone already? The sacred idiom shorn of its reference and so of reality, drawing down like something trying to preserve heat in time to wink out forever. This is him thinking in this level of despair he only gets to sometimes. The world shrinking down about a raw core, the names of things slowly following those things into oblivion. So um, colors, the names of birds. So like once the color red or pink is gone in their world, they stop saying the word red or pink, and the word disappears. Names of birds. You never see a goose, you'll never say goose, the word disappears, and the thing and the name are gone. That would be it. The idiom is the name, and the so an idiom is a phrase or a figure of speech. Shorn is cut from something. Sacred is religious. So the sacred word cut off from the thing it refers to, and so of its reality. So colors, no longer red. No more birds. The word bird is gone. Things to eat, say pizza. The concept of pizza is gone. And finally, the names of things one believed to be true. So you could see a piece of pizza, you could say the word pizza, but this is things one believes to be true, like concepts like brotherhood, family, loyalty, compassion. There is no more of that in the world. Things you might believe to be true. You might believe that there's loyalty or love still in the universe, but just like geese and the color pink, it's gone, and so is the word. So the whole concept is lost. Pretty bleak thoughts he had. And then there is this scene down on page 90 where something occurs that I want to just go over and make sure you understood. Okay. They followed a stone wall, past the remains of an orchard, trees in ordered rows, and gnarled and black and fallen limbs thick to the ground. He stopped, moved across the fields, wind to the east, soft ash. He'd seen it all before. I'm skipping shapes of dried blood in the stubble grass, and gray coils of viscera, where the slain had been field dressed and hauled away. Viscera is your guts. Coils of it is like your intestines and stuff. You're seeing this in the field. Field dressing is like when you go hunting, you kill the deer, you cut open the belly, you take out the guts because you don't want it to rot in there, I guess. Okay, so that's what they've done to people. Behind the wall beyond held a frieze of human heads. That's a frieze is like on a building, they'll have like wrapped around the top sculptures of like Greek characters doing something. Instead of that, though, there's a wall of human heads, all faced alike, dried and caved, with their taut grins and shrunken eyes. They wore gold rings in their leather ears, and in the wind their sparse and ratty hair twisted about their skulls, the teeth in their sockets like dental molds, the crude tattoos etched in some home-brewed woad. So the tattoos are just made of some sort of like a tea made with some sort of stain or color, faded in the sunlight. Spiders, swords, targets. This is that thing, a dragon, a runic sloan, creeds misspelled. This is each group or gang seems to have symbols. A creed is a saying or a belief. Old scars with old motifs stitched along their borders, heads not truncheoned, shapeless. Truncheoned is bludgeoned, like smashed with a bat. Had been flayed of their skins, that means had their skins peeled off, and the raw skulls painted and signed across the forehead with a scrawl, and one white bone stuck at the plate sutures, etched carefully in ink, like a blueprint for assembly. So they didn't just kill these people and smash their heads; they stitched and drew on them. So there's different plate sutures in your skull and they inked in stuff. You look back at the boy standing by the cart in the wind. Um, he took a review and decided, okay, let's go. He'd come to see a message in such late history, a message and a warning. And so this tableau of the slain and the devoured did prove to be basically saying this isn't just an event, this is a message about where humanity is headed, a lack of, there's not going to be a return to civilization. He woke in the morning and turned over in the blanket and looked back down the road through the trees the way they'd come, in time to see the marchers appear four abreast, dressed in clothing of all description and wearing red scarves at their necks, red or orange, as close as they could find. All right, four abreast means they're walking shoulder to shoulder, four of them, and then there's like 100 of them behind that. All right, so they wake up to this army marching toward them. What is it, Papa? People in the road. Keep your face down. Don't look. No smoke from the dead fire. Nothing to be seen from the cart. He wallowed into the ground and lay watching across his forearm. An army in tennis shoes, tramping, carrying 3-foot lengths of pipe with leather wrappings, lanyards at the wrist. Some of the pipes were threaded through with lengths of chain fitted at their ends, and every manner of bludgeon. That is, again, like a baseball bat, something you'd smash people with. They clanked past, marching with a swaying gait. That's the way they walk, like wind-up toys, bearded, their breath smoking through their masks. Shh, he said, shh. The phalanx, that's just the group, followed, carrying spears or lances tasseled with ribbons, the long blades hammered out of truck springs in some crude forge up country. The boy lay with his face in his arms, terrified. They passed 200 feet away, the ground shuddering lightly. The boy can't actually see. Tramping, behind them came wagons drawn by slaves in harnesses and piled with goods of war. And after that, the women, perhaps a dozen in number, some of them pregnant. And lastly, a supplementary consort of catamites, ill-clothed against the cold and fitted in dog collars and yoked to each other. A yoke is like that piece of wood that you could put between two people that you then attach you attach their neck to. I actually have so you have this army coming. In front are the warriors, then slaves, then piles of goods, then women they've captured, some of whom are pregnant, and the supplementary consort of catamites. I had to look up catamites. It's pretty grisly. I don't like recording, well, it is what it is. In ancient Greece, it was young boys kept for pedophilia. So that's one of the things he wants to avoid with his son. Now this is interesting. Are they gone, Papa? Yes, they're gone. Did you see them? Yes. Were they the bad guys? Yes, they were the bad guys. More of this bad guy stuff. There's a lot of them, those bad guys. Yes, there are, but they're gone. They stood and brushed themselves off, listening to the silence in the distance. Where are they going, Papa? I don't know. They're on the move. It's not a good sign. One reading of this book, and I don't think it really works, but it's a way of looking at how books are read, is that somebody pointed out, since the boy doesn't really see this group and he doesn't see some other things, that maybe the world isn't really filled with bad guys, that they could just go to a commune or something, but that the father is insane and just thinks he's seeing those things, or he's manipulating the boy to keep him scared and captured. Maybe it's not even his son. In which case you might read this, then it becomes a really creepy novel. You might read this like the boy is sort of patronizing him, like, are they gone, Papa? Yes, they're gone. Did you see them? Yes. Were they the bad guys? Yes, they were the bad guys. There's a lot of them, huh? Those bad guys. Yes, there are, but they're gone. So in other words, the boy, you could read this, the tone it would shift then to this sort of like boy just playing along with his crazy father. I don't think it really works. I just wanted to add that to my cover of the section, and now I'm going to stop and let you do what you got to do. All right, we're done for the week. If you didn't do the discussion, you can do that now, unless your class didn't do that yet. All right.